Sarah had always dreamed of living in an old, charming house. When she found a quaint, two-story home for sale at an unbelievably low price, she couldn't resist. The real estate agent mentioned that the house had been vacant for years, but Sarah didn't think much of it. She was too excited about the vintage hardwood floors, the cozy fireplace, and the large attic that stretched across the entire top floor. The first few weeks were perfect. Sarah spent her days unpacking and decorating, turning the house into a home. But then, strange things started happening. It began with small noises, faint creaks and footsteps coming from the attic. Sarah dismissed them as the house settling or her imagination playing tricks on her. But the sounds grew louder and more frequent. One night, she woke up to the sound of something heavy being dragged across the attic floor. Terrified, Sarah grabbed a flashlight and climbed the narrow staircase to the attic. The door was slightly ajar, even though she always kept it locked. She pushed it open, her heart pounding, and shone the light inside. The attic was empty, just as she had left it. But in the corner, she noticed something strange, a small dusty journal lying on the floor. Sarah picked it up and flipped through the pages. It was filled with handwritten entries, all dated decades ago. The entries described the life of a man named Thomas, who had lived in the house long before Sarah. The last entry sent chills down her spine. "They're coming for me. I can hear them in the walls. I've locked myself in the attic, but I don't know how long I can last. If anyone finds this, please, don't trust the shadows." Sarah slammed the journal shut and ran downstairs, her mind racing. She tried to convince herself it was just an old diary, a relic from the past, but the noises didn't stop. If anything, they grew louder. One night, Sarah woke up to the sound of whispering. It was coming from the attic. She grabbed her phone and called the police. But by the time they arrived, the whispering had stopped. The officers searched the attic and found nothing. They suggested Sarah install security cameras just to be safe. The next day, Sarah set up cameras in every room, including the attic. That night, she watched the live feed on her phone, her heart pounding. At first, nothing happened. Then, around 2 a.m., the attic camera flickered. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she saw a shadowy figure emerge from the corner of the attic. It was a man, dressed in tattered clothes, his face pale and gaunt. He walked slowly toward the camera, his eyes fixed on the lens. Sarah screamed and dropped her phone. When she picked it up, the feed was gone. She called the police again, but by the time they arrived, the man had disappeared. The officers found no signs of forced entry, no evidence that anyone had been in the house. Desperate for answers, Sarah contacted the previous owner of the house. The woman was hesitant to talk, but finally, she revealed the truth. The house had a dark history. Decades ago, a man named Thomas had lived there. He had been accused of a terrible crime and had hidden in the attic to escape the authorities. But he was never found. Some say he died in the attic, while others believe he's still there, trapped between this world and the next. Sarah moved out of the house the next day. But to this day, she swears she can still hear the whispers in the attic, calling her name. Sarah never returned to the house, but she still wonders, was Thomas ever really gone? Or was he just waiting for someone to find him? If you ever hear whispers in the night, remember Sarah's story, and whatever you do, don't trust the shadows. Thank you for joining me tonight on The Silent Scream. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a tale from the shadows. Until next time, stay curious, but be careful what you listen for in the dark.